Hi there, gorgeous! Happy Frugal Friday to you. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I make videos like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Fridays are my exclusive drugstore days where I focus specifically on affordable makeup. So if you'd like to be notified of new videos in the future, please subscribe. And thank you so much in advance if you do. Today we are duping Tom Ford lipsticks. I have 6 of these to share with you today based off of your popular requests. In the last video where I duped the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks, if you happen to miss that one, I'll have it linked for you below. I had asked a lot of you what shades you wanted to see me dupe from Tom Ford. So these are based off of your most popular requested shades. The only one that I was not able to get was Indian Rose, I believe, because Sephora was out of stock on that one. I would have liked to have included it, but I do have some really popular choices to share with you here today, including First Time Pussycat, Sable Smoke, Blush Nude, Spanish Pink, that was a very popular one that you requested, and Bruised Plum. If you are not aware, I will just tell you that one Tom Ford lipstick, one girl, costs $55. Yeah, my husband about like fell on the floor when he heard that. So for those who ask me why I do duping videos, this is why. I'm going to be saving you a lot of money today. I have some excellent dupes for all the shades that I mentioned. I'm actually wearing a Tom Ford lipstick on one half of my lips right now, and it's Drugstore Dupe on the other half. So can you tell me which side is which? All will be revealed at the end of the video. Beginning with the shade Blush Nude. This is what I would consider to be a traditional nude lipstick. Has some orange tones in it, some pink tones, and I found a dupe for this right off the bat out of my own collection, and that was NYX's Boardwalk. I love Boardwalk so much because it's one of those lipsticks that you can pair up with so many different eye looks, and it's still neutral enough that it's not going to compete. And I think that's why this shade in particular is such a popular one from Tom Ford, but you don't have to spend $55 to get it. There is a little bit of a difference in the formula between the two, obviously. I mean, Tom Ford lipsticks are very creamy. They are. Do I feel like they're worth $55? No. And I feel like the NYX one, though, is still pretty creamy, and it's very comfortable on the lips. I've never had any issues with them, and I feel like this is an excellent one to replicate the Tom Ford one without the price tag. Next one I have to share with you is Spanish Pink. This one was extremely difficult to dupe. I think it was one of the last 2 that I sat there and paced the aisles with in the drugstore, debating on this and a couple of other shades that I was looking at. And you can find a dupe for it from L'Oreal with their shade Masterpiece. So it's basically Masterpiece, but they took matte and applied it to the beginning of the name. Now, despite the L'Oreal lipstick having the word matte in its name, it's not as matte as you might think. It's actually a little bit more creamy, and I would compare it to the Tom Ford formula in terms of softness on the lip. It's not going to dry out your lips. It doesn't feel like a matte lipstick, and it doesn't have the strong orange coral tones in it like Tom Ford's color does if you really study the two close side by side, but I'm telling you what, it is still so close. It's the closest one I was able to find in the drugstore, and I feel like if you were wearing the L'Oreal one in place of the Tom Ford one, nobody would be able to tell. Next dupe I have to share with you is for Tom Ford's First Time. I would best describe this as a peachy pink, and the closest dupe I was able to find for it was from Milani's line with the shade Nude Creme. And if you've ever tried one of the Milani lipsticks, you know the kind of formula to expect with these. It's very soft and creamy on application, lasts a good amount of time on the lips too, will not dry out your lips, and the color is almost next to near identical to the Tom Ford lipstick. Next Tom Ford lipstick I have to dupe for you is Pussycat, and you can find an almost next to near identical dupe for it from ColourPop's Lippy Sticks line in the shade Lumiere. I feel like ColourPop's shade is a little bit more vibrant in color compared to Tom Ford's, but the colors are so similar that when you put them side by side on the lips, it's hard to detect a difference. And while I was in the drugstore, I also came across one that mimics the same color as the Tom Ford lipstick, but it's not 100% identical. I feel like though at this price point it is worth mentioning, and that is one from Wet n Wild in the shade Secret Muse. And you can see that the Wet n Wild shade is a little lighter by comparison to Tom Ford's, and it lacks some more of those deeper tones, but again, same kind of color, same kind of look with this lipstick, and the price point, you can't argue with it. Tom Ford's Bruised Plum. This is a really beautiful shade, and I can see why so many of you wanted to see this one duped. I would consider it a deep wine berry. It's perfect for fall. And I was able to find an exact match for it from the drugstore with Milani's Black Cherry. No difference at all between these two. They look identical side by side, and again, nobody would be able to tell that you were wearing a drugstore lipstick because it is that fabulous. Last dupe I have to share with you is the one that I'm wearing in today's video. Have you been able to guess which side is the high-end side and which side is the drugstore side? If you guessed that this side is the high-end side and this side is the drugstore side, then you are right. So the last lipstick I have to dupe for you that I'm wearing today is Tom Ford's Sable Smoke. And I was able to find 3 dupes for this lipstick. All excellent dupes, by the way. I can see why Sable Smoke is a popular seller, but I've seen this shade so many times. In fact, it's actually, I would be willing to bet it's a dupe for MAC's Honey Love, which is another one of my favorites and much cheaper by comparison, but it's an extremely easy color to dupe, thankfully. So the first dupe I have to share with you is from ColourPop in the shade Appy, and that's the one I'm wearing in today's video. And you can see between the two sides, no real difference. Same color. The only difference that you'll find between these two is a different finish. The Tom Ford one is a little more satin compared to ColourPop's, which is a little bit more matte, but still, there's no disputing that it's an excellent quality dupe. The other one I have to share with you is from L'Oreal, and that is in the shade Utmost Taupe. Again, different formula with this one. It's not as creamy. It has more of a matte finish, but a spot-on color match between these two. The last one I have to share with you is from Wet n Wild, and this is in the shade Never Nude. Compared to the Tom Ford lipstick, the Wet n Wild one has a bit more pink in the formula, so it's not an exact match, but again, I wanted to mention it because it's in the same color range and the price point is ridiculously good. It's too good not to mention. And I actually like the Wet n Wild shade a little bit better too. I like those pinky rose tones that are within it. It's very flattering on the lips. Let me know if you have found any dupes for Tom Ford lipsticks below, and if there are any other lipsticks, products, high-end, that you would love to see me dupe here in the future. Feel free to leave your requests below. And if you have shade names in particular, those are extremely helpful. So please feel free to leave all of your requests, and I will absolutely do my best to think about it, research it, and put something together for you hopefully in the future. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I want to wish you a wonderful weekend ahead, and I look forward to seeing you again on Monday.